If you want to make a full-time income from home working part-time, you need to know this one concept.
Soda for your love, and you know that I can never live without your love. Inkakita, me, I can't get over it. Baba Bani Chile, can't over Cantona, Kakemi, Cantona, Kakaomi, Kola, Baba Bani Chile, Kaya Oshimi. Kono can be picture me. If I'm a ripa baby, the American na me pesa me chirese. Wana na ripa penny. Oh, na yemle. Yeah. Anuka mi hono no mi yamushimi. Buey obabeni. Mira kokuduro kobusani di. Mani manose ya frueno nanama. Famiko na mi go weja fie. Me be some say a corner, send me go home, mammy, I make a say, baby, or I would on now be what is a year. No Kadia Jessica Crab about time. Sire, only penny mumuna thing. Yana no Casa Modu. A passia Casa Banchinya. Sana Ejane Bechuity. J Jammy who come to me who are good. Misinka, Matumi who are good. Our remedy Jedemi share beam. Adishia me Macarara said. Yafa wafe wawe Mesu obembi ama beshia nono Awa feni subani ya wafano kwa Kusiye se no huna se wafi ready ya Uwe isani erenu weni Emi rezi obetutu wagono wali ya wafiti krotana no waje fie fie Oro bi dansu wao Wana ni babeni Sami ya Osumani honi ya Ampase Mommy said, Sami sumetu wabu wawati Mana buremi dati Anu patene amikenyi na bemoa Kwaje Metuni di na miche Pise Yankupu wache madio Ewo miwi asi ya mibaye Sami hwe Usumane moria Apase Obirima obitre Mipese Obisoma mise Mamise Eba baba beye Sami hwe Usumane moria Apase and everybody was so get as I want because I ain't so happy. To what's here, that's a guy, what draw? Can cry me one year, you'll get me till you are so
My chef and party planner. You know we can't get this retirement/birthday shinding go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Why? What's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Adibab, no worries.
So with TAPTAP Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered for the year.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, no be easy, you. Chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku do.
our chairman can't follow.
Hey, Alande, Chairman send them.
TAPTAP Send. Papa no. After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartments, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lift for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Sultan Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
Thursday is here and you are live on OT Media TV. Your number one Thursday evening show, time with TAPTAP Send, with your servant, Nana Kwame Osaitsu. And then so, ye shemwa, na ye babe trichi and komo afa a ye property investment opportunities in the UK. And it is a UK. And I say, oh, she say, ube top property, ewo UK hanuma. Show ye a ye wodia. Mr. Wabomodia na free ubin so na on mekanya hon ene enyumri. Is an say, conversation, no, ebeye enika, ebeye depa. Enye non so say on this show ya bodero e de afa new feature TAPTAP Send Sabri ye de abaso a charity e wo TAPTAP Send app no so ya kan Hill Okonfanoche enso ho asem bebre e wo dwumadie so ene yenya one representative from Hill Okonfanoche committee as Sabri wo mo e bo adwuma pa ama ene Okonfanoche teaching hospital afa ne ntoma pa efra ene ye betwetwe eno nso e ho enkomo na afi all the updates that you need to know about TAPTAP Send and also Ora Kofi Frimpong and also Eddie Nina Eddie Abro. Sabri Jumedi Enina Zibitimi Eddie Abrowa na TAPTAP Send at Daroma and it's our me. Now I won't download the TAPTAP Send baby I will be as a niti to countries that you operative from to Ghana and Africa no Bomodia Play Store, App Store. Now download the TAPTAP Send. Now also namso na fa send this koma adofo any ebusian for na omonso omon fan from how far. And then you may maminko TAPTAP Send aswe na yeni omo entry komo. And on echi me the error from Hill Confanoche so Eddie Bebro na minso minino adjutre engomo. Ora go fi frimpon me mo ajo emo akwa ba na nwumre Eddie obajimedi so.
Me ma mejo so na mechia
and onyame adom oba so no mete wonka but I say o mic no e wo fam kakra enti ya na amane so kakra e de amame na yehu nia ekọ e wo nso waso ye honom kofi anwumre de se ye bopin wa na TAPTAP Send ho enkomo a ebra no nyina momaye update de ekọ so e wo TAPTAP Send aso ye enen so ye be se yete customers aye krado omo be so mu hu nia ekọ so e wo TAPTAP Send aso ye.
Okay, Nana, medasi bebre and the update no very short because update anka ya pesi ya no ya more on the charity work no but nyakopon ya dom na se his sister abekan ya home from Hill Okonfanoche project me the time bebre na abema no but I just want to talk about the other charity project TAPTAP Send ho adwuma obi beka say Confanoche nko na moya na there be say call app na so a scroll it down after where we ask you do you have a promo code, you see say there is a banner there which talks about charity. O click so but you be who say first one na app nim the Gamanche Foundation. This is a foundation which helps children in education, especially ladies, any idea, and also it helps to build infrastructure for people in the Ghana vicinity. And you know, or show you so ana unimu adofwa kakra wa onsem na se nkwala adisua ehu hia omo you can support the Gamanche Charity Foundation, no? Through the TAPTAP Send app. It's just like you sending money into click you just follow the prompt na odo transaction. And then the other one is the Funland Smile Foundation, which is also a foundation which looks at social development of people. More of to say social work. Into no say we will be a social nyoma ho hia enkwala ebia omo awofo ni ho obi na ebo omo ho ban Bible say obi a ohwe nyanka no oye nyankopon adwuma enti se nyanka ho asem so hia wo de a na wo de wani ahwe Funland Smile Foundation na kwa me ni nyanka ho se ne wa start sere no say na kwa me person ya adoption bi. Enti o share no the last project was so na Confanoche. Enti anwumre Confanoche for no ye be mo chance na omo ankasa a kire kwan a ye kapre ene ye simple a ye de bro omo no akwa boa project a yankasa yewura otumfo asante hene de hye ase a amanfo aboabo ma ene the first phase of it no omotimi awie enti nana kakra metima ka anwumre about the charity. It's not just the Hill or Confanoche, but we also have the Gamanche and we also have the Funland Smile Foundation. Thank you.
Yo, Kofi, me da se pa na ebra wo kasa na ukoyi Bible quotation no na mama kai politician bi okojina platforms or bo quotation ze na nye kwa. E do die no se ba ba se onum na wa.
So quotation no hu anu aka ofre Genesis 41, 42, 43, 45, 46 wonum na Bible can say aha do we dey abe capture asem na aka no dey say wo hon kwa dey abenya shim.
Yo, Gofi, you better say and anyway near Ode Effie a TAPTAP Send as you their brain. Say TAPTAP Send so more to who see honomo, bois, Emma, and Yanum Sawaman on it. It means Sika at the Cobois charity project be a Doma Comaso, or my Ghanemu. Then they said you di kind, ye becan a Hill Confanoche, a home assem. Now another time, no, ye the other charities in so platform, no sono, at the
answer now, Belcono, Besame da adofo ase e will show you so. Last week, you try say Kofi Adoma TAPTAP Send itself, no. Maybe later in the show, Honey Child or anybody else from our team can come and give an update. Yesterday, sent adofo and donated to GoFundMe now, or maybe for his eye surgery, you know. Yes, we are making a donation towards it. Until later in the show, somebody from our team will come and give an update. But the person may use a quenya and then that or more show you so assay. Because after we put the link on, no, that time now. Oma raise up to say 8,000, I think.
8,000 plus euros. Na
yes.
And bra show no ekwe yedi tuja Emma show no query no na kwa could do 9,000 plus euros. Into we got about 1,000 euros on the show towards this Kofi Adoma's appeal we show no so. Into I said that any dema yen customers are almost joining a show so last week yeah.
Sa pepepe ya damasi bibre ya damasi ya ensa.
Yo, said ye Kofi Ekan no say ye ko TAPTAP Send focus section na mijidi say Honey Child ewo ko yiso obeba be my update. Yen so ye TAPTAP Send adwumaku donation ya towards yen brother Kofi Adoma and so eye surgery no obeba be my update. That's how brady meje enkrato bako na fe me the committee member from Hill Confanoche project no be the no ede abre na ye no adwetwe enkomo bako mienu. Enti producer mame just one advert na fe yenko yen sister hono. Hello.
Hospital no ye near there. Is Kumase, men none of free Semuba, and one of you, men free Sepiba, and one of you, and I'm free. Nina, I am never. So at the end, yeah, hospital no. The one can't change last and phone guardia, media whole one at teaching man. So, media whole war, and you know, can only a teacher and to mine. So, men are none near Jia water. So, and he will be free about the agenda no abacam, will be free about no idea no abacam, and you know, fear your honey. So, Tiena, said this was here money. So, it must have me bano or cabo, Sicada was senior, here defeat us. Be a count near the boom, see a better point at the first. So, Menana Baco, just Amo, just mo, Obameho, Name Castle Meradi, Maoba, and I'm saying, Mosinana, any hospital, so all grown names away up. Now, me pese umami koye maternity e bi kakra ho. So here, me bra gamba catcher na ko na ayino. Me ba no won church maternity wono a wo kan nyina na ko pese obeya mame. So, and run adwuma wa no bells na mako hu no de me akọ. Na me fa block ni nyina se ne kai 1.2 million.
Yo, hill confanoche, bra, otumfo, ede, nano, etumu, ede, adisredie, ede ma, ewiasa menina, se, monfa, monso, montubwa, anase, mukakrawa, emebwa, na yemfa, empeja, o confanoche teaching hospital, emfa, insio, renovation project, omo, honum. Honum, sabreno, enana, otiko kwaso, nana, say to abebiu, na, ode, tuja. Sabri, yenko na yenkwohwe project almost started ye baby akakra omo aye na baby a omo adu na afi ye ne yenua ba enso adwetwe enkomo producer
Sikano liya womu ni baba ye so cement ya koto we koto uma for the balina so basically be and then it's ya was here to tell say so and then uma mi see the ba omaji uma me wonder is maji extra basa maji so yeah the boom na yes baba guys so kaza after there say no mom me am ready ya ka ne was sit down so you 3 years ago for the and down the moon say so it was and then it's
Yo, Adafonum Sabri, ebra, yene, yenyaba, Marilyn, Mausi Ama Azuma, Senior Nursing Officer, Head of Female High Dependency Unit, Confanoti Teaching Hospital, Oye Committee Member of Hill Okonfa Anoche, Project Omuye. Yes, Sister Marilyn, Yema Ajuma Wakaba Nanumre Edoba Jumedeso.
Medasi. That's it.
Number 30.
Yamia do me here now so
Yamina dom me so me ho ye pa misrewa me el no ya ne ha me kakra ndisi mambo dini ya me mane ha kra wai izan se baby awo no obetima ase mo baby aye adwuma no obetima ase mo enye me nko na mintimi mo ni ye Right. And you may yada se pass or Japan say only a better train and come more a so. Yo, tap send a jumecuno, ye nyan intie, say, otiko so a day appeal, a day echo, ama viasia man, you need to Ghana ma, I wa amonone any adena yenso, yes, say, a quine bang, and a yenso bit me a boa, ama projecti akoso. Ye to an among a back of anoche at the donation a buy. Nanya non quan so on our app non so no, been say, ye be used to tap send app no, and they are supported this project amoye. And no NMI did this future eba app no so we click it now select a Hill Confanochi project here ultimately make a donation straight to my account. Sabri appeal no call ye any Sabri baby abedu ye pesi yete wonka now my update ewo and I say mpoi bia obi kra de wonte project ida kan hu bibi fa kire.
But that's a bit brave. That's it. And yet, Hill Confanochi projects, no. Nana, Your Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei the second, as part of his 25th anniversary as a king of Ashanti. Yainimse Confanochi is the center of Kumasi, a Ashanti region. But Confanochi was established in 1955. Eshenipa Bebree, the major reference center for the northern parts of Ghana. Northern parts are, and yet even northern Kwa, but also it serves 12 out of 16 regions in Ghana. Nti boy a homo dem pa. Esaye baby a yenina yesua ade. So obeye pharmacist, so obeye doctor, obeye specialist, obeye dentist, obeye nurse, obeye midwife, obeye biomedical engineer, and answer bibia, when na yina ye de ba na ye school a yesua de. Also so na yaresa ahodo nyina so yes sir. Nti se mu ye din wo baby a whether wo upper east, upper west. Nana ankasa say or the krokro and the CSC Asante Mine. Nti enye Asante Mine for we serve 12 out of 16 regions. Nti yenyina yehu hia ni nti no ama so much pressure about Confanochi so because we serve all these regions, even including Togo and some part of Burkina Faso. So muya dinya. Esan said we have this excellent physicians and nurses and midwives and all other health professionals in T. So muya dinya. E hona obia dene this year eba. In T. Ama hospital na abreye. It's almost 70 years this year, but it has not seen any facelift ever since its establishment.
It looks like I said I'm on the Zoom no.
To share infrastructure now. Okay. Okay, infrastructure now. Okay. Okay, infrastructure now. As obia so mukakra. Building a dear and hoarding. It's been almost 70 years, but it has not seen any refurbishment or any form of transformation. Nana eba kwai bodero say as Asante Mine, as the people of Ghana, not just Asante Mine, everyone. Yengina yadishie ewo Ghana. Say even if you yourself you're not a Ghanaian, one day you visit Ghana and anything can happen to you. So developments be about most of the time you share Accra because and then a city. But you any probably bria omoba Confanochi omodos. In Accra, we have 37 military hospitals. We have so many hospitals that are well equipped to manage these things. But as Confanochi, we can't refer anyone to any place. It's the only place that people come for these kind of specialist care. In Tiama building no and more aye but I'm holding outside. Building na in show toa. You find say oh ebusheni bida. One of your wards. For A to D block now. That's where we have the maternity, we have the surgical, we have the child health, we have the adult, which is the internal medicine, where we look at all the organs. For A to D block, make sure so to A, to B, to C, D. You're told building A, B, C, D, no, and fire him brain. Tina say, and I am bra. Kakrabia ye wo, say ye 1 CD, 100 Ghana kra, kakra, ni na ye gather. You bet me the aye BB. Abua hospital no. It is Zimbabwe obia one obia vambra. As a maker say, like I was saying, so the hospital when I insure tour, we need to push you from the window side, literally push you from the window side, because what the na insure, imagine being very ill in a circumstance where you are very ill. Now the na insure to, na insure no, when you say windows were so insure no able. Imagine that. Imagine the whole place getting flooded, and there's one patient who needs to be resuscitated or has gotten into a cardiac arrest and needs medical emergency care. Then we are rushing and there's flood. I mean, the place is flooded and you need to literally push the electrical equipment. All these things can cause damage, not just to the patients who are in the facility, but also the staff who are rushing to go and resuscitate this patient. To her state of the art, Nyoma hospital now where it has gotten to her. Yeah, it's very sad. I'm sure we all saw the video. It's very, very pathetic. And that is why we are here. That is why we are calling on everyone to help. By God's grace, we've been able to do with the donations of lots of people, a few people. If you pick the population of Ghana, we haven't lost hope, but not many. Take an offer him for now. About 4 chiefs Nananom has donated. If you take the mining companies, only one mining company has donated. So we are still looking at corporate Ghana as well as individuals, because say is our hospital, is our responsibility. We can't wait on the government because the way a government has said here. But if we don't charge ourselves as people of Ghana and we don't come together and do this for ourselves, we'll be there. If HEFRA is supposed to use the real criteria, just as in the United States, we have the GCI, it will shut down Konfanoche. And imagine shutting down such a facility. You can imagine. The cost of it to all of us. Because you can be a victim. I can be a patient. You can be a patient. Every day there's a life. Every day someone is taken out and there's a new life. And that is why it's important and it's necessary. A4, A5, A3. I talked about the leakage. We've done the plumbing. If you are working in the facility, in the old blocks, you see that plumbing works. You could see the pipes, you could see the electrical wires, cables everywhere. It's not conducive, it's not comfortable. But if you look at the state of the art, what is happening right now, what we intend to achieve, even when you are a patient and you're lying there, you will recover. Nothing would stop you from recovering because of how convenient the place is. It is conducive for not just us, the staff who is taking care of you, because basta be now abestra obusuani so say you share wo anka ba comfort share almost anopa 5 6 obi ekuta buckets obi ebunsu obi kokko pains you share obi okrampa onti kumase na onti oni Ashanti region, but sebi nebusuani free to say nothing and aba na say sehi anabe bi no aba. But anajo anopa sorry ohia nsu de bedware nebusuani nti kokko pains you share. But now we are having a solar system where we could easily access hot water, also get cold water. Then again, oxygen ports was a limitation. So when we say no bed, sometimes it's not because we don't have bed, but it's because the kind of patient that is coming needs oxygen. But the bed that is available, we can't give oxygen to the patient. So some of the beds didn't have oxygen ports. But thanks be to God, with this state-of-the-art project, this project we are doing, every bed is having an oxygen port. So if someone needs oxygen at any point in time, we know how important oxygen is. There is oxygen available at any instant. If the condition should change, they are getting oxygen. Then again, you wouldn't see these electrical wires everywhere. nurses, doctors, physicians, physiotherapists, whoever is working there, if you want to take a leak as a visitor, your washrooms, you can't even use it. It's an eyesore. Imagine over 40 patients or 32 patients sharing just 2 washrooms or bathrooms. Just imagine. I'm sure some of you have been there. It's very pathetic. Even if you want to urinate as a patient or take a leak as a male or a female, it's terrible because you come to the hospital with a condition, maybe a heart condition, then you get a urethral tract infection. So it's very, very sad. But for now, we are having about 6 washrooms and 4 toilets. 6 toilets too, excluding even that of the staff. So even if the staff is staying over, the staff can use the washroom easily. They doesn't have to go and find washroom on the floor that they are. They can even take a shower if they have to maybe rush somewhere else after their shift. So this is what His Royal Majesty is pushing, that each Ghanaian, we need to come together. We need to contribute. No money, no dollar, no pound is too small. No euro is too small. That's why you need to use the TAPTAP and whatever amount you have. People are asking, why isn't the government taking initiative and doing this? We can't wait for the government. We can't, because if we're going to wait, it would be a disaster. And imagine His Royal Majesty, imagine you being in a country and suddenly a hospital that served over 12 out of 16 regions and even our borders falls down right now. What will happen?
If we are going to wait, I'm sure Konfanochi Teaching Hospital buildings, ebe collapse. Me person mi busa say, as a committee member of this project, TAPTAP send a year future year the abasui mwetimi receive sikabi through it. Edana said the beya obi yinsu send sika bremwa when say sikano and yes TAPTAP one mo name ebam ho street. Mo receive sika through the app before.
TAPTAP has been a great support. Even they themselves have donated to this project. So they are not just being a middle, but it goes directly into our accounts. They are not holders of the money that comes. It goes directly into the Hugh Konfanochi accounts. So it is important that we patronize this so that wherever you are in the States, in the UK, in Europe, wherever you are, you can use the TAPTAP send. Simpacho, Sikana, we've been receiving money from TAPTAP send. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, before CBJ Moa Kono, ye wo enkofo omu ekumu individuals and sorry any other organizations are omunso ehwe omu ATN and then message and a ode maomo na fe ye jao na yede de ohono so atoaso.
Because a Ghana be here for each one of us. Oh mommy, oh papa, we are the future. And Konfanochi actually is the future of Africa because we do not just serve as a facility that takes care of people, but we raise the foundations of generations as medical physicians, as dentists, as pharmacists, all the health professionals you can think of. I am proud to be working at Konfanochi because we have not just any kind of specialists, but we have great physicians, great nurses, great midwives to be delivering care and to be given the best of care. And see, as the body is the temple of God, so is the institution that we run. We are all temples, and we need to make sure that the temples are run well. If we do not do it today, who else? Who are we waiting for? God works through each one of us. And see, you encourage you, sorry. we've had a few churches who have contributed, and we'll encourage each church to keep contributing. If we want to see the light of day, if we want to see the future of this country, the future of Africa and beyond, because it's these same doctors, these same nurses, midwives, physicians, pharmacists, all specialists who travel to the diaspora, who are in the US, who are in the UK. If the foundations and the fundamentals wasn't right, they wouldn't be at where they are now. So let's lay the foundations well, and we will be proud that we are Ghanaians. And each one of us have we have Ghana in our DNA. So we need to uphold that. You cannot underestimate where you come from. So let's be proud of where we come from. Every penny counts. Thank you.
Every penny counts. Marilyn, Mausi Ama Azuma. Medasi ene enyumre se obabe kan ye ho ewo dwumadi so na be my update on Hill Confanochi. Ye beko so abo hondero na ye nuanom so wa monone enso ediom kakrawa a omonso wo edi abeboa amadwumadi afane ntoma pefra. Nyame nhia mo ewo dwuma pa mo bo ewo Confanochi. Emrepa mu no ye nyamre a ye besan aba ye ba besra mo. Nyame nka mo bebre.
That's the Nyame Charles. Thank you.
Nyame nhia. Yo, yenuaba ena ufi eye Hill Confanochi project a omo eye nobemaye updates. Ye wo hanomo abre nyina say ye bebo dwumadie hu dero na ye nyina ye de kakra bi a ye obia enso akoboa. Enye eno nko a emrepa mu no mesan de other charities nso a ewo eye TAPTAP send app no nso representatives e de omo aba na ye no mo adwetwe eho enkomo. Sabri ebra me no ye ba bi di eye and come more about property investment opportunities in the UK. Property investment opportunities in the UK. Me da ne me ho me ba me de eye ora Emmanuel Antwi me de ne bebro ya twetwen komo. Tweme me ba sisia.
TAPTAP send. Oh, I was you're from Calabos. The only boss. With oneness. Baby, I will be everywhere a day and everywhere they go. TAPTAP send got me covered. Therefore, if you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TAPTAP send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TAPTAP send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TAPTAP send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other time I would channel, like my view, hey, you crazy.
Yo, Madam say munya ebre etwenye. Sabre ye share Hill Confanochi. Some of the blocks are almost renovating it. The current state a muhu no sa enetie pepepe enye abrochi hospital bi na wore Hill Confanochi project a omuguso a omoye no ene ntimuma ye nyina ye mfa ye de kakra bia emfa tap send so ye click charity button na ubehu Hill Confanochi click so na fa won so de kakra bia so every month bia na benya £1, £2, £3, £5, £10 ubetimi e de akoboa na Confanochi teaching hospital so afa ntuma pa e de efra yo sabri me guest amedene bro ora Emmanuel Antwi ora Emmanuel Antwi abranti bia eba UK property industry na omu inimdie pa ono ankasa property investor ofitin ase ache minimum no for so many years now said the medi kan eka abribia say before say medi obi ebeba platform we so no na onipa no minimum no ma hwe na chiri ehunu say onipa yi enya de a obetimi ababe to envutro agu obi ani before I bring them. So I can I will say I can vouch for him when it comes to UK property industry ni knowledge or any na kwanchiro obetimi achiro na onso onam so no etimi invest in property in the UK. All right, Emmanuel, me ma ajo emo akwa banwumre e de obajumadi so.
Nana me da say and me share with you for nyina and wa share for so I think say I am not new on this platform in we there is just back home masinya be fie
if you
thanks for inviting me again. So the other time this time around me presentation I will keep it very brief. Now
questions more.
Questions more because me say the more questions I bisa no the more in church no eba microphone so etin yamasi into no and some presentation no ebia obi wa ha ohwe me na on university e wo UK pen me focus a bit more on some of the importance of in property investments e wo UK afimi we are na ma show ekwan be fa so anyeme bi a wo se wo hwe akwansi nyeme bi esi nipa esi ekwan a yentimi nko property ladder ne so ne how ye betimi overcome sa na yema ni nyina ye beka ho asem na afi no ye wie na se o asem bi se bi a na watimi bisa but before I met twice no me akasa na ye frame Emmanuel Antwi property nko anye de me ye beside evangelist with Elim Pentecostal Church. And I think because business and integrity is very important, and giving me position, I think steadfastness in the Lord and also shapes the way I make me business as well. Now, property investment business, I have been involved in this for well over 15 years now. Now, say UK had the ekobase property investment nyamia dum yenimu ye pa na yaboa nkofo bebre so amoma to dan omo na omani kran da so betimi ato dan na nyamia dum yesu yamia nam yeso am yetimi aboa omo am ya amoma to dan intino se miewie na se ebia open mo bi open as intrase bi anase open se me church ekwan bi so na ekwan obefa so na so wetimi dia to dan don't worry at all, be in touch and I'll see what I can do to help. But first and foremost, my yenhwe when it comes to property investment, the reason why it is very important is property investment also. I say kasa about UK property investments, but we have to be honest, property investment worldwide, it is a very strong and good investment. And UK hankwa. It's as an say wa share for no weti for ne bi so e wa ama no ne enye UK hankwa no mo. Intina mekanisa. If I was talking for the UK market alone, say asem na make an enye no kure, but unimobia or investing in properties and no developing properties for America, even Ghana. Ghana property investment is one of the things abapa kese nkofo edimukane ebo mabrabo yepa. So property investment on its own is a very, very strong protocol wealth accumulative solution. Emma middle NS across the globe. What does that mean? I mean, so middle income NS typically, these are people who work 9 to 5 and they earn something. Nothing wrong with that, but the problem with that concept, is that and rent cost through transportation, everything, which is what we will normally call inflation. It continues to go high. What that means, regardless of how much we are being paid, sometimes I am not any livelihood, emphasize. And you have to find a smart way or chinebino sono ekobase hey why jumache and then I will timidi eja o ma na then why yama you can pinpoint and say my brother me bebo abrochi no because ye can UK has an internal we focusing on UK kakra my brother me bebo abrochi no nyame adom me nya property mienu miensa enan bi eto disi hono it no ekobase se was maybe alcohol pensions and answer who free UK we settle back in Ghana, say by all means, you have something you can rely on. It's when we say property investment is a wealth accumulation solution, that is what we actually mean. I mean, number one, it be provided with what we call a passive income. So you can passive income. Passive income, you don't actually get involved, but then a typical example, all you have to do is obey tenant at name. Tenant not name no. Yes, so go tenant papa, obey fee so kama, bosumi draw, usika na obenyano uyi kakra di tua mortgage ade aka no eba obotom etine fa ne se wodan ba akona se ba akoma £500 na se yeso aya wadom na se wo nan be yes 10 as all properties in Kwema passive income of about 5,000 a month when you hwe all you have to do is say water and our tenants and a tenant nation and also and there are so many ways that you can do that without being physically involved, and some of these things can be said estate agents now estate and national swamau so you are not so much handy in it, and you can focus on what you want. It's not so business and also you're very busy with corporate worker, you don't necessarily have to be involved directly in properties. There are other ways still no bit more benefiting from property. So yes, number one, with accumulating wealth. Number two, provided with passive income. Number three, it will provide you with something we call a hedge against inflation. What does that mean? So you can't say a hedge against inflation. But guess what? So because the aqua yes abrabomuno majority of the people UK they are always on the consumption side because the consumption akwa say de bia mayento ade wo de woni bibia disika ebre wo woni ade a wo ton akwa say de bia no de oto ade. Now so we are that type of person inflation ebe how wo do sika to banker so wo de £1,000 go to bank and 2 years time and at there £1,000 bit me out no ain't mean tobium but your obesity sound is a problem motimenka okay yeah
but just say sound is good, the sound is good na yenko but twaso
it's the dynamic and it says £1,000 and at our bank account 2 years time that £1,000 need to lose its value. That is what we call inflation, because what that means they said the bank is only giving you an interest of 1.1%. Me bank or just me some money interest of my revise some interest to 1.3% per annum. 1.3% per annum. Inflation at now close to about 6-7%. So when you compare the we and Yama Bokosro, any sika bank no somebody ma sika na or 10,000 20,000 at that bank now, it doesn't match up. It's no sika at that bank no, it depreciating rather than increasing. So what that means is so we save you sika do at the bank, you are not doing yourself any favor. Because sikani lose value. Sa sikano so ochina ebetimi akoto friend is saying ebetimi akoto atade £1,000 that atade £1,000 na ebetimi ato na ochina ntimi nto. Nature said the value of your money has depreciated. But when you invest in properties, property investment becomes a hedge. When I say a hedge, you are also offering a service. And now also and so what that means is say automatically also I was also too to stay up. And you run with inflation. And your investment also accumulates with inflation. It goes up with inflation. And so you don't get stuck with the funds you have in your account, which is how a lot of people are. Almost £100,000, 200,000, 50,000, 60,000. It's dumb accounts. What do sika etu savings accounts more? Oh, how? All right. Now, menkasi men sika always of course. Oh, I was so some liquid be a bed down for contingency. As a messy fee, I was here this fee, baby at 2, I was so easy to baby. So what bears be a 5,000, 10,000 bit that one more for your contingency spending now. That is okay. But apart from that, most of your money, if you want to move along with inflation, you have to make sure you are using it for investment. And then the last one I make a security for retirement security. Nipa bebrate me egma wo UK ha na ekobase okwakọ retire na ye mano pension retirement, workplace retirement and pension retirement. Sika no do send amount £300-400 a month. Just yamma wa bro so sometimes £600 a month. Hey, na that's carry the all the year then. What brabo crow na say o retire sika ye de ma no. Ni chese se nipa na nse bi sika na so oni sika bi na so oni japade bi a wa ye wo Ghana. Na chese wa bre egu. Na ko bakra se sebita fracture or free more. Let us bibia. But what actually happens and they say when you are when you are excuse me
producer one ad echemu emame na onhwe enkola de yes, or so person back camera no movie, no movie, so no so.
My sorting it out into the bit not to us.
You can go on. You can go on.
And Sana Americano, Akoyasa will be retired. At least who will be kakra or any minimum pennyphobia in their retirement, or mortgage necrometry. You have to bear in mind some mortgage terms, Sabusian our boy and at the top diner. Sometimes obviously English, please. Okay. All right. It's Nana. We
can try and blend it, but we should also understand this platform. We normally use our local Tree language for this program, but I mean programs like this, we have other people who also want to benefit from it. So yeah, Emmanuel, you can try and blend it for us.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. And so I'll probably switch to English, and then I'll be adding a bit of Tree to help our Ghanaian community as well. So talking about retirement, security for your retirement. There are a lot of people who actually retire and they don't have any money at all. Hey, I have some. Okay, I'm saying
try as much as possible. What you can, just do what you can. We can't.
Martin, okay, Akwese ebisi kakwi ebisi kabrofo. Okay.
Try what you can.
Yeah, and when we talk about security, retirement security, what I was trying to say is that it is quite important for us to understand that Brabona bono, a bedroom maybe a yentimi. Okay, and sometimes it is not only it is not even only for your security when you retire. There is something also called critical illness. There are times bibi timi to abrabum na kwakwa yese because of the it could be anything nyame mboa ye nenko echirechire ba abrabo abrabo na ensem sisi ewa abrabo mu. So when you have something to rely on, something you can go back to and say this is what I actually had, something I invested in, that can become a very strong, sense of security for you if you invest, if you have something like that. It's quite unfortunate. So many years ago, when our parents, first came, they actually struggled to understand this concept. I think majority of them was more focusing on Ghana. Ghana. There is nothing wrong with that, but I have a very strong, advice on that. And I think the platform we also know BBC question. They say, Juma, also do Japadia or Ghana, and I said, also the BB Wahanomo. Personally, I think the majority of the people who are residing here in the UK, might have probably made UK their home country. Someone like me, I have my wife here, I have my kids here, I have my church here. As a matter of fact, all my siblings, majority of my siblings are all here. So this has become more like a second home to me, as opposed to I spend most of my life here in the UK than in Ghana. So the question is, do I want to live a better life here in the UK? Because see that Ghana, I'm 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But this is where I live. So what does that mean? That means it was me making sure my livelihood here in the UK is more secured, it is more settled, it is more convenient, it is more okay for not just me, but for my family, for my children and the people around me. Then I can think about somewhere like Ghana, where possibly I want to go there purposely for a holiday home or an investment, or to support the Ghanaian community. They said the TAPTAP for but how can you help when you are not sound and secured here? You want to football more how much but when you ask them to show you £5,000 account and we have to be very careful and take advantage of some of these things. So Mama, for important reasons, there are so many reasons, I can't talk about them because of the time, and I want you to ask more questions. But let me tell you this, because they are very, very important. See, between 2020 and 2024, area say echo into a bit of crisis, kakra, and we all experienced the hardship of the pandemic. Okay. During the pandemic, there was a lot of investment that went very, very bad. I mean, talk about the stocks market and all the other places, all the other investment you can think about. Some of these ones went very bad, but guess what? Within the UK, property prices increased up to 25%. Increasing up to 25% from 2020 to 2024, even in the midst of pandemic. It tells you how strong property investment is. But that is not only that. As of 2020, the average property price in the UK was 230,000. In 2024, it rose up to 288,000. Right now, it is heading towards about 300,000. Okay, there is also a saying, following market trend and historical data, we know, UK property prices actually doubles in price every 10 years. What does that mean? That means we thought 900,000 and now 10 years, that 100,000, it is most likely property price will become 200,000. All right, so this is how powerful property investment is. And so it is a very, very strong area. I personally want to appeal to the Ghanaian community. Me ko baby baby ko ka property hun say me kon sorry. I speak to even Moxes. I go there, who invite me. Emma me ko ka about properties, and we have become an advocate trying to appeal the Ghanaian community. I say it is very important. So once you are in the UK, say in then your main focus is to find a property to buy, or one or two as an investment property, if not for yourself, at least for your children. So na be your chinebi no say ma efifie kra na woni bibi kra de momwa o ton dan ba ko a o ti make us kojo ama o 100,000 ye also some never bo bra ono so betimi da toa so aboa ne mama. It's very, very important. Okay, now when it comes to property investment, there are so many opportunities here in the UK. Maybe rush it through with 5. Okay, number 1, if you want to invest in the UK, all you need is about 5 to 20%. Okay, 5 to 20% deposit. Now, if you have 5 to 20% deposit, you are able to invest in the UK. If it is a buy to let, then you need about 25% deposit. The rest you can get a mortgage. Of course, if it is a residential purchase, then there is something we call affordability. Affordability, no, what that means, they say, ejumana we no, and a bit me actually, any sika unyano, afeno. And a bit much but when it's an investment property, it doesn't actually matter. So long as you earn more than 18,000, you are fine. You can also know there are some schemes like shared ownership. Binary about shared ownership. So we see kana na se upeso to danya wonu webusunya bet name. Na se usi kana en so. What that means is that your income for the whole year is not as much as can afford you a property to buy. You can actually go on a scheme where you can part buy and part rent. I personally don't like that scheme, but I have to mention it because that is also available for those who wants to go on the property ladder. What that means is at least it gives you a leg in the investment field, and then over the years when things have picked up, you can now buy the government out, and then you can own the property. You can have 100% ownership of the property if that is okay. So that is very important. That shared ownership scheme is also there. So by all means, you can find a way to go into it. Then you can also think about some joint ventures. Think about boom. There are so many joint ventures opportunities I will be to explore if you want to go into property investments. Major because questions baby ba na my church I see it is not helping a lot of people get on the ladder in the UK. And one of the things I have to talk about is your poor credit. Me pacho, mommy ensure your credit ye. Okay, mommy ensure your credit ye because corona yet seem no be bia kwa businyabo. There is something we call a good debt. And there is something we call a bad debt. Good debt, ye businya oboa odisha diemu a esandi sika breo. And the Yabusia papa, Yakotobo, Yakopabosia, and Yakosida or Ghana. It's not a good investment. Don't do that. Yakobobisia, and Yakoton Tadia, Yakobobisia, and Yakoya wedding, Yakobobisia, and Yako holiday. Naming a bad debt. It's not a good one. If you want to go and invest in Ghana, invest here first in the UK and use the proceeds of your investment to go and invest in Ghana so that it is not putting a ton on your stress. This can buy up and Ghana. The piano I stress need livelihood, need quality of life for UK basa. Meanwhile umia when in account me to die by UK and I'm UK and I was maybe no normal 1,000 or 1,500 so 1,000 or 1,500 ubet media kwako ye japadie ewufie ombre. So we have to think smart and very important. But if you have a poor credit, you can't do that. It's misremo. So kwa phone bill na somebody brewa men yomo ntwemanso kotria 30 pounds in tea near sending credit or say me damu person mu bumi 30 pounds. Obuan moko konya okopake na se wan pake nsi baby papa na ye brand ticket or su ontua okobob besia or su ontua obi betima ko credit card store card obeton yeme wu wiasem nyina. Who are you trying to impress? Afo be wie bosia ba eka beto also keka sikutua onye sika ntua. Some people are too callous, they don't think about these things, but very very important say you focus. How do you do that? Me pacho unu signing up. There is a link, there is we be from Experience, TransUnion, and Equifax. But the one me paper, you friend check my file. It's a sign up. You friend check my file. Check my file. As in check myfile.com. Because signing up, 30 days free. Next year, I'll credit it here. So credit no end ya. That's what person will improve ya. You can talk to me. Meet me my free advice on how you can improve your credit. Sometimes I take it to even the what's we have to fix it and meet him actual. So credit no a damage crowd to the point say bia cancel tax you work kwa ma CCJ and now bia CCJ near county court judgment and until no for say bread to buy a house and also no only mean there are some lenders who can look at your circumstance and then help you. In the first instance, what we try to do is say kabia out there no e was CCJ so we get you to pay it. Near timia evidence actual lenders ne say what triasa kano na say ni yentina when unya CCJ no. Based on that there are some lenders who will take care of that. Number 2 insufficient income. Okay, so bu on more or person dan or London. The average property 3-bedroom property in London at the moment is going for 380 to 400,000 pounds. Okay, so London is an expensive area. Nisika when you know 40,000, which is 10% into the nipa here 360,000 deposit. That is a lot. The multiplication so person who sika know how much you can afford. Your overall year no esika no unya no fane say ebi abosume afini nyina no wo sa kwa nye adwuma yet make sure so contract no ebi we 40,000 a year or 35,000 a year multiply that 30,000 no by 4.5. 4.5 no ebe chiro sika bosia yebetimi abo o multiply na se unhunu na we do deposit ni kan ho and e chire affordability it in say na e also ye no sometimes so what per se you have to stretch yourself a bit. What that means is say you see over time what I tell people is say we have come to a world that you can't rely on one job. Okay, anywhere you go, you can't rely on one job. You've got to have multiple streams of income. Okay, me say, me your properties, me your consultation, me say evangelist, me was sorry. Okay, me were about 4 or 5 or even more. Me development, other stuff. Ningina no to no so china. Aha ma misika, we remember misika kakra. So we are misika kakra, we are misika kakra. So you have to look at other ways you can bring in sufficient income. Sene beya you do sika na boom ni yakwa pe bosia e de atodan a usu ubetimi aye. Number 3 me pa chow if it is possible avoid the debts. Hwe okotodan enso wakwa koje car. Okay, wakwa koje car muno wakwa bobesia koto car 30,000 40,000 2 or 3 months ago. That is going to work against your affordability. Me catch and forces so person to dan as much as possible no avoid going into debt. Me pacho very very important. So one yes bread to get on the property ladder and a lot of lenders into me okay, your employment type also is very important. Almost 0-hour contracts too much. 0-hour contract some person to die so what person to die make sure say adwuma na wo ye no permanent and as a contract and that contract no at least you've stayed on 1 or 2 years. Okay, if it is self-employment it is important say at least you've been self-employed for a minimum of 2 years and be careful who you use as your accountant. Nipa bebre majority of the time now they have very bad accountants who don't know what they are doing and it gets them into trouble. So we have to help them, give them a proper accountant. If you need an accountant, talk to me. I have an accountant I have worked with for 15 years. My client be a problem that they know what they are doing. Nyamiadom ono si Ghana ni enti no ye de maye ho na ontimi mboa. Okay, obu anu mo oye adwuma on person of filing the income no tria the taxes into gisika na no de hye no ho gisika na no de hye no particularly no mo amoye your friend is saying locum no mom you locum the nurses ne social workers na mu any contractors na mu locum no omuntua mo taxes mamo it is kana munya no but I was munya accountant na accountant file correct taxes mamo se na be ya mo pese mo to dan ya mo betimi su AUC and of course insufficient deposit obi ho person to die as no need deposit o to die there is a way a boy bra udi kakra na de kakra to ho se na be ya ebetimi aye de be na aboa na also no wetimi and then you also have to check your spending okay your spending target obu ono mo a person ko to die enso no o spend sa o china no akọ ha no akọ toti wa ha no akọ McDonald's ha no we pie wa ha no mo no trafe no lenders in pesa because omo say we high risk. High risk means sikani beto account more we spending it too much. And so you have to be moderate on your spending. What I tell people is say it is possible at least 3 bank accounts. 3 bank accounts no. On number 1, your income bank account. On number 2, your expenditure bank account. Where expenditure na say si you make £2,000 a month. Next one is my expenditure bank account. It's me bills and me tuya, me TV, me car, me fuel, me drink, me di, me shopping, me tithes, me offering, me biano. Ebe cost sa bank account. Ebi anu ni na kosi 1,500. It's ye tuya okape na the 1,500 na kwa kotum. And then you have your savings bank account. It will savings ope say £300 na kotumwa. Now the £300 akwa kotum. Then you have your contingency. So contingency sometimes me say me double me savings me contingency ni na boom o contingency account no e bia o say odi sika bi to asase kan ye ntache £200 bosu me bia na dia to. So you have to diversify and divide your income like that so na be ya you can take proper audit of your income. It's no more bank account bakuna ye twa ne kan no no de bibia it's ye twa ne kan penase kadin na cost me huso me se kadin na coin because you are not organized. You don't know how you are managing your finance. And most of the time, you will see say when they want to buy properties, they find themselves in trouble because I can go on and on and on, but adaje mame kwai. I think say me the basic hanomo ne bisa questions. Say ne be ya metimia answer na nkomo ayede. It's I think say that is how we will take it for now. Nana.
Yo. Medasi ene enyumrei ewo presentation odi abrain ewo dwumadie so mede advert baako ebetwam producer sa o hanoma bomodia na mamemfa advert baako entwam eno na chi no obia ewo question bia opese obusa when it comes to property investment need to presentation or and any other question bia na Evangelist Emmanuel why crowd say over all your questions at the amount. Anything, Daniel, Bape, I'll be taking all your questions.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartments, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination. with fantastic residential features, which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Selton Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
My chef and party planner. You know we can't get to this retirement/birthday shindig go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Why, what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Alibaba, okay? No worries.
So with TAPTAP, I have got a cake and decorations covered from here.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, no be easy, you. Chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku that.
Ah, Chairman can call you.
Hey, Alande, Chairman send them.
TAPTAP send. Papa no.
Yo, Adafonum Sabri, Ebra, Yebefa, all your questions when it comes to property investment in the UK. What's the Evangelist Emmanuel, the Ebra, Nina, and Tino. So, what question be now? Zoom no so, Oma so said James Aman and Sasuya. Memo Aquina, now, audio question about Emmanuel is ready to answer all your questions. Audio questions, so at chat room on so, and also Yebekin kind na and also no. Or the emuaye ede aba. Anything starting with James. James, Macho, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to ask a very quick question. Thank you for the presentation. It's been an eye-opener. Just want to find out, I have a property now, but because of my family, they think the place is too small, but I'm over 50. So is there lenders in the market that will give me mortgage to buy another property even though I'm over 50?
Yes, James. If you say you're over 50, it would depend on whether it's an early 50 or a late 50. And the reason I say that it's an early 50. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the only reason I say that is majority of the mortgage terms are up to, say for example, if you were to retire around, say, age 75, you have to subtract your age, your current age. Say let's say for argument's sake, you are 52 and you are going to retire at 75. So subtract 52 from 75, that leaves you with 23 years. 23 years is a very good term to secure a mortgage, so that is fine. What we see is sometimes people are left with ages like 10 years terms, 15 years terms, 16-year terms. You can still get a lender out there, but your monthly repayment is going to be very high because you don't have a lot, particularly if it is a residential property. So what that means is you affordability wise, you are going to struggle because if all you make is say 3,000 a month, and given that interest rate at the moment is around 4.8%, 5.6%, your monthly repayment is going to be close to about 2,800. You can't survive. So this is what I would personally advise, okay? There is nothing wrong with you renting. What you have to do is to contact your bank and tell your bank that where you are currently living is too small and you are looking to find a new place. And so you want their permission to let your current property. They will give you the permission to let it, take some of the money you get from the lettings, okay, and then go and rent a bigger place and live in. Or you can remortgage. I can help you to do that. Remortgage your current property into an investment property. Pull some funds from that property and then use the funds to buy another investment property. And then you can rent a bigger place. But of course, if your aim is to have your own place, then depending on your age, we can check your affordability and I can advise further. But that is what I would do. I will personally, rent a bigger place that can accommodate my family, and then I will spend most of my money buying investment properties because it ends up the same anyways.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but by all means, I would love to talk to you. So if there is any way I can help, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, I'll take your contact from TAPTAP. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Emmanuel, if you can drop your contact number in the chat room, if anybody want to contact you after this program, they'll be able to reach out to you. So put your contact details in the chat room. Let's move on and pick one or two questions also from the chat room. Then I'll come back to the main room. If I have a help to buy account, how do I use it to buy a house?
If you have a help to buy account, I suppose you are trying to say maybe you have like an ISA or something. So that's you can use that to buy a property. There's a percentage the government gives you, along your investment. Now, what you have to do is you have to go through the normal process of buying a property. Your ISA comes in when you are actually going through what we call the conveyancing. So you've already had an offer for a property. Say for example, you have a savings of £10,000 and then you have a saving ISA of 5,000, and then you are expecting you've done that for 3 years, so you're expecting the government to add another 3,000 to it. You have the documentation to prove that. So when we are going to a lender, 3 documents you will bring. Number one, you will bring your own personal savings, you will bring your ISA savings, and then you will bring any documentation that proves that you've earned the 3,000. You don't have to have the physical money. So we will add all these 3 documentation as proof of your deposit to support your application. And the lenders will most of the time go ahead and do their normal underwriting and issue with an offer. When you receive the offer, the conveyance, which is the solicitor who would help you to complete your purchase, will help you to go through the process of getting the funds from the government to aid your contribution, your deposit contribution. So it's a very straightforward approach. Again, if you want to know more, you can. There's so much materials on that. Feel free and read more online, or you can get in touch and I can help. But it's a very straightforward approach. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the affordability calculation, somebody want to know that multiply your annual income by 4.5%. Is it the gross or the net of your income that you're going to multiply?
It is the gross, not the net. It is the gross. You multiply your gross by 4.5. Now, I have to put a caveat there, okay, so that the 4.5 is only a guide. That is what most lenders use. Some lenders even use 5. Now, the problem you have is you realize that even after you've multiplied it by 4.5, if you have I think someone is if you have a lot of like loans, and some overheads and debts going on there, you realize that 4.5 doesn't actually work. So as a safety net, I normally tell my clients to multiply it around 4.2, 4.3%, just so that the difference of the 2 or 3 ratio will cover for all their expenses, basically. So that is a safety net and as a guide. But don't rely on those figures. It is always a good practice to get a broker or someone like myself to do a proper assessment on your case to tell you what your actual affordability is, because we take you through a grievous analysis, looking at all your expenditure and then as opposed to what you are getting in, compared to what you are getting in, to draw a conclusion. Sometimes you can be earning 80,000, but if you earn 80,000 and your car loan alone is 50,000 and you pay like £1,000 a month, you've already shot yourself in the foot. So that is what I mean by be careful using that multiplication factor. But as a rule of thumb, if you don't have too much loans and debt going on there, feel free to multiply it anything between 4.2 to 4.5. You'll be very okay.
Okay, all right. So Obi outside UK and they want to buy a property in the UK. What is the process?
If you are outside the UK and you want to buy a property in the UK, you are buying as an expatriate. Now, that is very possible. It will depend on how you want to buy. If you have the physical cash to buy the property outright, then of course it's even easier. The question is how to get the money into the country. I've helped a lot of people from Ghana and Nigeria buy properties here in the UK. And most of the time, the struggle is how do you get the money into the country? That is number one. Number two, how do you prove the source of the funds? Because in the UK, because of money laundering purposes, you can't just say I have 300,000 sitting in my account, and a solicitor or a lender will say, oh, fine, bring it. They want to find out how you got the money. So you've got to trace. If it was through a process of a sale of another property, they want to see how that was transacted. So was the property in your name, the deed, the solicitor who acted, the completion statement? You've got to prove it was through a business. You've got to give a statement of how you got it. So for me, that is major. Now, if once you can prove all those, the rest, we can help you to do that. If you want to secure a loan, like a mortgage here in the UK to buy, there is also a facility to do that, but you have to use the specialist lender who concentrates on helping experts to buy properties. I have to say this, though, sometimes their interest rates are high because you don't. You can also consider opening, a limited liability company, a special purpose vehicle. We call it SPV. It's a special purpose vehicle. It's a limited liability company that is used solely for the purchase of properties. Guess what? And you can even get like a property investment partner here in the UK. Because if, for example, you get someone you trust to partner with who is a British national or has residency in the UK, then it becomes easier. So you can be a shareholder of the business, and then he can lead or she can lead the business. Then you can have all the benefits a normal person here in the UK, sorry for using the word a normal person, like what I'm trying to say is a resident of the UK would benefit from, as to your advantage. So there are a lot of dynamics that plays here when you want to invest outside of the UK, but it is very possible. Again, I'm happy to talk to you and give you some, I have to say this, that I normally, when I do programs like this, I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of bookings. So I have sent a link to my bookings, my availability in the chat. If you want to talk to me, message me or click on that link and book a slot. Normally you have like 15 or 20 minutes free time with me to talk about anything. Sometimes people just call me. They keep calling and calling. Feel free to call or text and I'll arrange some time to talk to you. But if you're an expert and you want to talk to me, or you live in Ghana and you want to invest here, there are so many avenues to do that, and I'm happy to talk to you.
Okay, let's move on to Bright. Bright, Bacho, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Nana, Madasi and me, Ewa Kwenya Demami. But my question is, say, Opa say, or apply for a mortgage, and no, is it advisable say, we go through a broker, and I say, estate agent to be one man, and I say, you go direct with your bank. And I say, we go direct with your banker, and also your specific banks be one man, or more deal with mortgage, one I say, bank be deal with mortgage home sensem.
Okay. Ma me bisa wedi na o question we bisa me me bisa o question bi se na be ya entiase be ye more se uko krom na se uko kantamanto na force line na hunu se nkofo ton ade wo ho na uko bisa ba ko shirt ba ko na obi bisa obi kan se o shirt ye ton no 8 Ghana cedis a be ho na o discover ma no anasa obi bisa other places to find out say price normal no a reasonable price. What for said then I'll be?
Maybe that cost other clients so actually.
Okay, thank you very much. That it maybe answer our question. No, the reason why I maybe ask that question is a lot of people make the mistake of going direct to their bank. Okay, number one, direct to your bank, there is no problem going direct to your bank. But that means if there are 500 lenders, UK hand more, why limit to one person per. Okay, one person or the criteria area or the interest rate area, flexibility be in it's in the terms not the amount and one or the amount. You've not opened yourself to see then the one market a be better than the bank in the offer me no. So the benefit of going to a broker, and I'm not saying it because it's my business, I'm saying it because it's the truth. The benefit of using the broker is that we have access to all the banks. And then we can see, say, based on your situation, because no situation is the same. Lend everyone more. Unya one default, our credit report to swear on my mortgage. Uya de on. But lend everyone more. Unya 5 uko obemao. You're from a specialist lender. Omunya robotic. When I say robotic, it means that it is not a tick box exercise. So long as you can explain why this happened and you can justify what you have done after this happened, no, sometimes they will do it for you. So the answer to your question is personally, I would advise strongly is go through a broker. Find any broker. Sometimes if you go to the estate agents now, they also have their own in-house brokers. My assessment, I have to warn you though, because sometimes and maybe one more. I would rather give it to someone I know, a Ghanaian I know. I met me na kami krum kasa na bibi one more. Achia met me a pape mu ye na makano cracture no na owo kwan bi obeti me aboa me a no aboa me wo so. Normally no ode ko call ensanko fo insem a enchan a there is nothing wrong with that, but omo nim wo omo ntie system na se na omo nim se na ye niema tie it will train niema se a ontimi en comprehend no se na someone like me or a Ghanaian broker can comprehend and help you. It's no, we see people going there and majority of the time it doesn't help them. So I would strongly advise to say don't use the estate agent brokers. If possible, use a local Ghanaian broker ubetimi no akasa ye na wa check and circumstances I say no amount advice na also etimi ediato dino.
Okay.
That's it. You're right. That's it. Yemfa Gideon. Gideon Basha, go ahead and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi. Is that someone?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
But what to make us say?
Me too, Nkapa.
Okay. Quick one. You want your dasipa ne jeshima odiabano. Yeni ajipa. Na kakra mi bisa say me ba you can chair be 1.5 year ni. And my second problem is me wa me early 50s. In terms of credit, I think I may be all day. And in terms of ABI, yes, I can make a pension. If I say make a pension at the age of ABI 65, what are the opportunities available to me? My name wife now, I don't see a Juma there. You know, possible say me and bit me combining income. What are the opportunities available to us?
You know, Godwin, assembly wabisan a very important question, pa, and it also nyamia dumko Ghana phobe bretime rail system nimo yesu adumuti through the new COS care system ya BMI, you know, and sometimes na ebusuan le ba obi ne yire ne ma e no ma beba and omoba, you know. Almost no say important so being they also try to see how they can also go on the property ladder. First of all, I have to say so what's now you can have more than 1 year you can afford lenders wa you don't have to have permanent residency. There is a lender or so that is a fact. Number two, the same criteria will go for you. For example, if a dana kwakotono, send Americano, a dino a 200,000 now no yere munina muye juma ye de musika ne bomo afe sika munya ebomo near multiplier. That is your affordability. The problem is say they will always use the higher year. No, it's if an say early 50s are early 50s near 55. What so called pension 65. Account 10 years. It will mortgage term never 10 years. It will be say mortgage repayments and say a damn person will talk more very high. But say huge depositor a dana cotton 200,000 but 100,000. Nigga say bosia 100,000 pen now pay. Into no sano mortgage no ebe low because bosia no bono and also it's even though terms near 10 years no and you're high. But now this is where I give very good advice to people. Property investment does not necessarily say to die its name. Okay, right. So we have to understand that you don't have to live in the house. Majority of a Sikafokrom investing in properties no among to die its name. They rather will invest it. And to know if the age is becoming a challenge for you adentina mom be an SPV, a special purpose vehicle. Na mom to turn 9 rather. It's your pesica 25%. Ya kopet dan bia a ye bia 150,000. Near 25% on it. Near rent it. 2 years time, you refinance your policy carefree mu. It is kaka kraka hon. Ya koto for 1 year time, you refinance me, you know, your policy kaka carefree, you kaka kraka hon. Ya koto for whenever I also know. Or rented dying, but or die by a 5 or 10. It's in the thing I will person who told one cassa would die no. Who refinance all the 5 and now this kind of boom not do save his guy crab boom who crowd me to die cash. I win here mortgage. So there are various ways to do this. I can show you some some avenues. I'll be to media yes, if you want to have a conversation. I'm happy to talk to you.
Okay, I'll get in touch. Then we talk.
Mate.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And that's it. I said there are various ways to kill a cat. It be them denishe botum. It be the akunya esi ne kwa so no kuno. Baba good there or chick cat na no atwini mu say na cat na. All right, let's move on. Obi said talking about credit. Say our good credit no per se excellent. At the end of the ama wetimi am managing the credit very well. That's all bad credit and so no per se about good to excellent at the end of the
so the entire credit system no they actually work with various factors and each individual is different, but I'll just tell you 1 or 3 things that you can do to help you. Okay, number one factor is very, very important when it comes to credit is longevity. Okay, longevity. And for example, if you are with one bank, as far as you stay with that bank, it helps your credit. Okay, now number 2, anytime you go and borrow money, it impacts your credit. So you want to make sure, say, your borrowing ratio, your borrowing and expenses ratio, should be as minimum as possible. What does that mean? That means you say, 3 months, 4 months time, it will impact your credit. So as much as you can, keep a very long distance when it comes to getting credit. If possible, at the moment, I am a very strong advocate of people going into debt. I try to tell people, if it is possible, I just stay away from debt. Okay, so that is also a very important one. And I feel card. Store card with £500. No aje. No akwa nest. No akwa 500. No akwa Agos. No akwa ebe sell credit. Don't do that. Because if say obint me, normally they look at your minimum credit limit. And so for example, say my minimum credit limit is 15,000. I stand a better chance of getting a better deal in the future than 500. It's that small 200, 500 stock card and no a sell credit. Avoid that. I can say more, but account.
Brahma, before you go to the last one, store card is no one near shopping ko Ghana, Ekoji, and Chiao.
You could just be here. You could do this like a Chiao.
Okay, go on to the last one.
Well, now I'm really feeling the best we can.
Sorry. Improving your credit.
Okay, so the last one is obu on one what's not kakra no watu no what's not kakra no watu no what's not kakra no watu and this bit me affect your credit. The longer you stay on one address, the more credible you become, and it helps to build your credit. It may try and stay somewhere for long. Say, oh, rent here. Try and have a good relationship with your landlord. Pay your rent on time. And yet, be a best say and for your landlord. Sometimes, wakasa so ye, only build a good relationship. Minimum, term I will recommend so bit matna baby. Say, any juma ne do be free war, and na it be a brabumun sem the bemwe free war. At least 2 to 3 years, dear, stay at one place before you move. And ning now boa to strengthen your credit. So that is about a little.
Yeah, quick one. Talking about store cards, any credit cards in your D. Now being so case sometimes credit card and so and also boa or credit history, no. And I said, yeah, your credit history. So how can one manage the credit card? Money credit reports, no, I very good.
I know I think the point I was trying to drive at the quantity. Okay, so it will be best, say, for example, you can get one Amex card. Amex card, good creditor, minimum be 10,000. So it's good. But what the small bank cards now, no amount 1,000, no amount 700. No, it doesn't help your credit. So go for the ones that will give you more. To say Amex, they will give you one-time big credit, and then you have it. And the way people do it, is that they shop it. Say, for example, how I will use my Amex, is that me fuel. Me toye ya metina me kema na betria mintu kra senka me kwa ka me besika na betria it metina me kema na mase etria ba betum. So then they see say I'm spending and I am paying, I'm spending and I am paying, and that is giving me point on my Amex to help with discounting my travels. But not only that, it is also improving my credit. But on kwaji Amex, we are not kwaji Lois, we are not kwaji Halifax, no kwakura Agos kwaji, no kwaji Nest. It will destroy your credit. At least one bank credit card now one store card is enough. There can a year, there can try. Therefore, why we see gato. Okay.
Yo, that's it. My uncle, Mami Fusia Ehono. Man Fusia, please unmute yourself now for a question, Ebra. Man Fusia,
Okay, good evening, Patrol. Okay, let me ask you. So, Patrol, my question is, my saving deposit, nanka the photo mortgage, but along the line, the council has given us a property. So we've moved into the council property. Now, my question is, I would like to invest, but property advisor and or catcher and say, when we invest, that the council will take the property away from us. Also, I wanted to find out, is either we invest or do things that we should get our own mortgage. But the thing is, council property, I did it in my mom's name. So my name falls under it in the contract. So I don't know if I should go and get my own mortgage, but at the same time, we are scared to lose the council property. And I'd also like to invest because I've already saved the money, and that was the plan before we got the property.
So same way you are bonting me person me bisa on same be but me person me bisa o ha. Okay. Jimmy number ne frame na me bisa me check on you maybe why. Okay, patch you. Break a grant, you have to be careful. Send out Uber proceed further. But I'm happy to lead you in a proper way, a bit secure to ensure say more that's what council dino, and then legally no so no more to me invest. There is a way to do it. Muhum Basem. That is what I want to tell you.
Okay.
Let's see a bon komo if that is okay. Why?
Oh, perfect. That's fine. Thank you.
Man, so that's a chat room honum. Ube contact details. Honum pick it na book an appointment to talk to him. I'll come to Kezia. But before that, talking about council property, Matisse said Ubi Etina council property move for about 10 years. They have the right to buy. Can you touch on it a little bit? I think that there are so many schemes and they team bosso. We will find time to talk about all the schemes that are available in the UK that people can use to acquire property. But or can council house needs to touch on it a little bit.
I think that it wasn't some baby na me be kasa about the schemes, Now there is not good news in New York at the moment for the council property, and untina ohwe kra na man shadambo so kra because after the 5th of April, the huge discounts they are giving to the council, labor buy and will come. First, it's not move between 3 years and 10 years, 3 to 5 years. What the council them are you qualify to buy that house, and they would give you a huge discount, some up to even 130,000. I'll bet mediator, and we use that deposit, that discount as a deposit for people to buy. But those days of glory came. There is something a housing association for 1 year right now. A buying person almost marching housing association, and the discount they are giving is about 11,000, 17,000. It's bad news, but it's still something to cushion deposit for people who want to go on the ladder. But it is not as good as it was. I mean, imagine before, you pay 130, 120. Right now, when you bro, so 15,000, 11,000. And but yes, still the scheme will continue, but it is not as luxury as it was before. After 5th of April, be biasa.
Okay. That's it. Yanko case. Hello, Kezia. On you ready, Yanko Godfred Ehonum. Godfred Bacho, unmute yourself now. Okay,
Godfred, that's it. That's not your brother. So, the contribution, I'm going to be a question beyond them. Which may laboratory and yet as a council property near poverty trap. But now, person can say, to be and yet, who's I'm putting say, the desire no and yes, be a person call investing Ghana straight away back to the because yes, well, I don't know if things have changed now from the way I work as a crab, but initially, no call, even as I stated, could be about property. They almost bizarre say, visa ben ukra. So, student visa, visiting visa, put it out. The only minimum requirement to make a someone here indefinite stay. Once indefinite stay won't be. And I will hear Juma. And I will just crack it 24/7. The next option about you will send it. Make be organ. I'm coming be Tibato. At least you say my baby or and Ansana Ubenya indefinite now about starting adjoining obtain a property here. It's a people to say first generation for no and I suffer that. But subsequent generations never and they are building foundation moment, Omunya education and information say they can do better than the first generation. It never say and on the ma a coban say you got to die and I say Kusidan or Ghana no. That in an investment into any crowd with you Ghana work with them do at Tamagaze, I could jana Bajan Biza. It just the last time done so touching shared ownership because a lot of Ghanaians your mentality be say no yet not there but I'm a living testimony of it say me so far advice me say instead of say you call queue up for council property why don't we go into the shared ownership and pass them to say you still case 100% ownership of the property and can say and can zero and say only don't twin konya buy £40,000 which is not easy to get and you ask a property of 400,000 now. That's a shared ownership, 5% of it may raise they are starting now. Yeah. Let me say, I want to say about the now to encourage a lot of Ghanaians to get onto the property ladder because brainwash here home. ye discourage ye ho never be ho just say ye say ye ho asiu senia mortgage cry nye na be ka nso ti ofi obi fi ya utu na mortgage utu danka education yem say yeah you be second chance empanyi for mesre say mama your brother sample bi no be another session mine na we ye that pa
yeah, but I got Nyami just responding back to 2 points now make you know. I think sir Bibiano, if you know the history around it's helpful, which is why at the moment the advocacy a lot. So there are better ways of doing things. Send your brother can, you know. If you have an investment in Ghana, it is not bad. I think that the point we are trying to stress on right now is that there are a lot of people who are investing with their sweat. That is the problem. They are investing with their sweat, but there can be a smarter way of doing it. I mean, investment for Ghana, and we are advocating say Nkofonko invest with your grow. If there is a better way to do it, why don't you build multiple stream in the UK? So and yes, kana or 9 to 5 sikana wunya now they call the proceeds of your investment here no. And no crown ma drew more, out me more Ghana. And our shared ownership no, send your brother Nekano. It is, I mean, there is always an alternative ways to do things. So by all means, you know, that is good for you. Go for it. But if there are other options, you can explore as well. Explore every option and make sure that this is the right option for you. And I think those schemes are there for a reason, to meet the needs of everyone. And so don't just close your mind on everything. Be open-minded. Get education, and then you make what we call a decisive, and that's informative decision. Then you know, say, decision that we're making is right for you.
Okay, right. Obi Ensu Busa say, or you're over 45 or you're self-employed, can he or she get a mortgage in the UK?
Very straightforward. We are 45, you are in a very good position. You still have plenty years to retire. You can easily you just need a 2 year self-assessment and 2 years tax year overview. Depending on we need to make sure that the income now we make is enough for you to be able to get a loan, to be able to buy. And so someone like this, I would love to talk to. It doesn't matter whether you are permanent residents or you don't have permanent residents. There are lenders here who will help you. And now you're British, and now you're British. There are lenders there. And so we owe a very good opportunity, pa.
Okay. Pat Girl, please go ahead and ask your question. Pat Girl.
Okay, Nana. Good evening, everybody. I tell me what 2 questions be. Now, me 2 questions. First, the can and say, it is a walk can be say, I mean, buy and rent, say, oh yeah, and no. Now, was 0 hours contract. It be difficult for you to get mortgage. Now, me who was saving like 20 to 30%. And understand, no, it be affect mortgage now. Say, I mean, you can qualify.
The 0 hour contract, and difficulty more if you say auto for a residential purposes. But like you say, the more your deposit, the better for you, because it reduces your risks. It doesn't make you a higher risk person. So for example, yes, we were 0 hour contract, but that 0 hour contract, my year for 6 years. Okay, so your job stability is guaranteed, and I have a higher deposit. A lender will be happy to look at a case like that. But me was 0 hour contract, me shall see 1 year or 6 months ago, but me was 20,000 or 20% deposit that it become the different dynamics. So in that instance, I don't know when you need 25%. Now if I can top buy to let him now rent it. na wunya we wo honomo, and then later on you can decide to switch into a more permanent way. So you have to understand, say, the goal is not just to get a property. The goal is to get a property with good interest. So you know, because people, I don't like advising people say koto down, and then people just get themselves into 6%, 7% huge interest rate. And you're too killing. You have to teach people to loan responsibly. And so, no, if there is any way I bet me at interest too much on one, that is what I look for. And so, no, that is, I think, the answer to your question, but it is possible. We just need to understand the dynamics.
Okay, now the second one, I think say if I answer, but not because we know yet 0 hours contract no. Now only partnership person monko mami enko no dey full time or full time job bet on British on your British citizen. And I say we need indefinite.
So only indefinite. No, you're British citizen. Not a bakun a British citizen, but on no 0 hour contractor. Implement each other. So a bit my year.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's it. Your contact anyway. Yeah.
The contact chat room or Bomodia. Yanko Joan Ehonomo. Joan, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah. John, you too.
Hello. Good evening.
Hi.
Everybody.
Good evening.
Mr. Emmanuel, Patron Person Bisa say, meaning say the right to buy no is ending, but if you've already started the application, what I want to know is if finally, the offer is given to you and you buy it, are you able to rent it? Can you rent it immediately or you have to stay in it for a while before you rent it?
The right to buy, isn't it?
Yeah, because the application is gone because obviously because of the new changes, you've applied for it. They've come to
offer. No,
you are waiting for the offer. They've come to do the evaluation. Waiting for the offer. Just want to know if you finally get it.
Let's hope you get the offer before the end of the financial year. The whole idea is that particular scheme is not for you to rent. It is for you to live in. It's an affordable way for you to own the property and live in up to 5 years. After 5 years, you can do anything you want to do with it. After 5 years, you can decide to sell.
Okay.
And guess what? You don't pay tax on it because it's name.
Yeah, okay. So once anymore, then they will try to take some of the
So if your situation changes, normally, you can always contact your bank and ask them to give you the permission to let for up to a year if your situation changes. But some banks would expect, say, you had lived in the property for a minimum of 1 year before you approach them.
Oh, okay.
So that is the solution.
Oh, thank you for that.
That's it.
Okay. You, my emfa, sweet so far, but you.
Hi, Emmanuel. Good evening. And I'm sure or energy media insights out there my
amen.
Pacho me question kakwa say me name is significant other na waha or British but me Ghanaian of course na me a part-time job and honestly self-employed.
Yeah.
Otuano ho ka sika kakra no wa dividends in the be complementing no wa reduce tax payments no. And you what deposit of 30,000. But yes sure say your budget mortgage because on Tuano ka be braining to know you need brokers kasa almost mine any positive almost share and cry bia intinama sikane da bank
okay
it's show kakra bim intipacho put to kakra na the
I was in no kasa because there on say they be am catch your microphone say podcast you can be say you can't eat your cake and have it.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why our partner ASano is because he wants to be tax efficient.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when it comes to affordability, it doesn't always work. In case, I always meet cases like that. I put them on anything between 4 to 6 months program. That 4 to 6 month program, I want to look at exactly how much is coming into your business account and what you should be paying yourself. So we will do an affordability to see how much you actually need to buy a property you need to buy. And based on that, we will see how much you are making and how much he is also physically making. Based on what he's making, he's got to pay himself correct, well, and declare the taxes. But then you have to work with a smart accountant who understands how the tax in the country works. The country, what is a criminal offense is what we call tax avoidance. I don't want to talk about tax because I'm not a tax advisor.
Yeah.
But when you avoid tax, then it's a criminal offense.
Right.
But you can be efficient. So you get an accountant who give you a proper tax account advice. You won't get into trouble. And there is a solution, but it will probably take like 4 to 6 months to put everything properly in order. Then you can buy. And unfortunately, most brokers won't teach you this. Apart from Ghana for
Okay, maybe some question or platform. I would very much appreciate if that is also addressed. It's with regards to my credit score, mini credit, deka, and I struggle to mean credit. If that can be addressed later, I'll appreciate it.
So you'll be looking into all that. Right.
Okay.
Try and book a time with me.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And also on our next session, we will also dive deep into credit score as well, so that people will be able to know how to better their credit ratings. All right, cool. Abusia for say who call isu enyumre na on joining OT media community on WhatsApp. Bomodia me the link at the chat room click the link na join it. It's say I bring na yenya information be to say show be to say update it on the platform, then people get the information. And also when we are about to start the program, update it na onso etimi akai na wa join it, I will show you. So anything bomodia on joining OT Media WhatsApp platform now. Click on the link, join, and we won't disturb you. We will only update you with current information that will help you, especially with programs like this. And Tibomodiana, click link and so not join here. Yo, mefa baku minu na fe ye jai yem brother Ima no akona fe A class and so ede ye tap send focus section no ede atwa so ede amame. Obi say or question no say I have a question. How do there's another question that I wanted to ask before this one. Obi ebusa say opeso okoye mortgagea sika he NS o save as deposit before so bit me approach a lender for a mortgage.
Depending on how much you make, the type of property you want to buy, you will need anything as a minimum of 5%. The more the deposit, the better. It's 5%. It means that you have to have a very strong and good credit. I have to be honest, because I am not there. We said delusion say okra 5%. I'll be to make your mortgage. It is possible, but it is mostly for people with extremely very good credit. It is our credit needs not very stronger. Then you are targeting a minimum of 10%. But the more the deposit, the better. And see, keep saving until you are ready. And so you have to look at how much are you making, multiply it by between 4.2 to 5%, 4.5, add your deposits to it. That will give you an idea of what you can afford. And if it's not realistic, then you can talk to someone like me and then we'll look at other avenues. But that is just a guide to start you up, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Reggie Ebusa said a young guy living in the state in his early 20s, and I say in his 20s, how can he acquire a land and build? I think he's talking about in Ghana. When it comes to investment opportunities in Ghana, after next week I'll bring Emmanuel back again. After next week, may the estate developers from Ghana and also a lawyer who is well vested when it comes to the land system in Ghana, I'll bring them in the next 2 weeks. Then we will talk about property investment opportunities in Ghana. In Canada, let's focus on the UK. Naturally, we will talk about the Ghana one in the next few weeks ahead of us. Right, Ima, Mami, Emfa, last word.
Is a very important question. B or C, would you recommend buying an investment property in a company or in a personal name? I think I want to answer that because it's a very important question. When you are buying an investment property, there are tax benefits owing them in a limited company, just not tax benefits. But in terms of if you were to pass away, how do you want your estate to go to your family without having to pay unnecessary tax or it probably going to probate? So these are all serious benefits when it comes to investing in a limited company. And so I strongly recommend, say, if it is for an investment purpose, then make sure, say, you are putting all your properties, in a limited company. It then forms like a trust. You can even appoint a trustee if you guys are like 1 or 2 or 3 more people within the investment to manage your entire portfolio. And then you can say, it may be, say, maybe with the 18 years, he becomes a shareholder near the company, then you are building generational wealth. But when you put it in your name, I am not the income tax and the tax implication. For example, say if you have an investment property in your name, per the UK law, you cannot take your tax after paying your mortgage. Your tax is taken on the gross. It is our rent near 1,500. Or tenant need 1,500. Was so tia bicy kamano as well could your mortgage. That's how it works. So you realize it doesn't make sense, but that is how they made it. It will crew for some weird reason. I strongly advocate investing in a limited company. And if you want help with that, I can show you all the dynamics. It's not a problem.
Yo, Ima, your last words and then enumerate. Now, the aseda kesiye pa enebema o hwe said the commenter eba. Mitimi say yen audience and omoniaje or presentation hopa any all the answers that you've given, all the guidelines that you are giving to us. Say ope say only no engage further the contact details and auditor chat room. Bomodia contact him later on after this program. Ima, your last words.
I think it's really a pleasure being here, and it always gets better when I come. And like I said from the beginning, we as Ghanaians, we have to also make a mark for ourselves. Gone are the days you can say, oh, in Nigeria for you say, India for you say, Jew for you say, Ghana for no more than a creme. She say no nim dear acronym and nim send and there are a lot of Ghanaians who knows how to do all these things. There are so many opportunities in the country, especially here in the UK. It's not explore a lot of opportunities. There are financial opportunities, there are government support schemes, there are things. Take your time and explore all of them and make sure you are using them at your advantage. The last thing I will say is say offer prior na say ode dudu boom na say o try say be boom wa eden but offer ba ko na say o boom wa easy emutimibu. And until we have to find a way to come together as a community, come together as partners, come together as marriage, ono jere mabom mayewe ahnodin wom mo be kom animu ntem enuano mabom maye bibi mo be kom animu ntem a community mabom maye bibi mo be kom animu ntem. if Ghanaians we begin to think like that, we can begin to own commercial properties, they say churches, we can buy commercial offices, we can buy other things a bit near boy. I must say Ghana needs to hear Bibia, Ghana need bit near Buano, Nayanaya Abraboya, Yebo Abrut, Amanoni, Akoyanim. It's Momia Faba Akoye, Neo Dontna, Nianye Juma, and Koyanim, Yamishramo.
Yo. Ima fa o contact details sa to chat room ho ABM ena ABM nso me sign archive say opese ye koswa edit programs like this ebro na ye be kaiwa bomodin na join OT Media Property OT Media WhatsApp platform a community bring na ye kaimu se dwumadie bi sei baso tap send rate ekosra honso ye be kaiwo hono ye nya information regarding the diaspora community na ya share the amount so enti bomodin na join ye WhatsApp platform no ima asida encounter asida nyame aduma next week I'll bring you back.
Okay, and all the back I think that people don't know about that. Development opportunities and construction work. So next week, maybe I'll share a bit more light on that. There are some opportunities there as well. And we are involved in, I wanted to put that across. So, project be aware of those things now. I can help you around those areas.
Okay, so next week we'll be looking into all the various schemes what Chrome Hanomo and also people will take advantage. Like you're saying, say right to buy. They say about a chem. They say that is why we didn't take advantage of it. But next week, we will take our time, go into all the various schemes. Na yahwe na yedi ehon enkomo. Said ye be ya be boa amount for no yahwe the schema be right for them to look into when it comes to property investment in the UK. Ima yami insha bebre say ene waba be ken ho na oni adwetwe sankomi. Yami adma next week ye be sign edo.
Medasi. Bye bye.
I was here for Evangelist Emmanuel Antwi and any Medeno Ebrel or a property investor. When it comes to property education, just say wabua any panum bebre. I'm almost let me invest in property in the UK and in TNA say Medene Brewa na minimnia utimi eye obitimi abwa ekwanyina. So for you to be able to invest in property in the UK, OT Media platform. So I encourage you, click on the link and join us so that we can continue to inform you with all the information that you need. Ebema wasitna ewo amononi hanomo atimi akọ enkan ede amount. Me dane me ho na mafankrato baku mienu. Me ba ra a class besom na fe or the TAPTAP send focus section no ede abro. Honey Chad enso ewa hanoma yebebie breaker room no na any specific issue with your TAPTAP send account wako breaker room na honso customer service team yen team no abwa ewa honomo na we should be our one abwa to resolve it. Me da say me dane me ho aba.
Me did young antechwa and maybe I'm discovered for Europe akuma busuya for Ghana no. Me use TAPTAP send. No fee mobile money transfer. Eye easy, eye convenient, eye fast, and sounds so free. Me discover ye mapim TAPTAP send. NTN also download the TAPTAP send app no ever mobile phone so free. Na first kakomo busuya for Ghana for na TAPTAP send. Papa no.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, The design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination. With fantastic residential features, which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Selton Sky. A new perspective in the sky.
Yo, Sabre, maybe breakout room 1. A hormono and a Okwa customer service team ever boa any issue with your TAPTAP send account. Sabre, mi judgment, you know, Eddie Asher, minya class and sa na ode diaka atraso Eddie Ama. Eglas, Pacha Sumo Hamami.
That's Nana Kwame, Union Bema. Evangelist Emmanuel Antwi nyame enshapi for eduma pa